the melon today created 3 streams.
Yeah.
I deleted 2. It kept just the first one, and now it's trying to start the stream, and it's clocking. So my guess is it's going to just say, "You're live."
You're live, bro.
So we'll be in the midst of chat whenever this thing starts.
Yeah.
Who knows how this is going to go? And
So
I know that
let's talk about who you want to fight the most. I want to fight Don the most. I just think I can win. Mike. I don't want to fight Mike. I don't think I can beat Mike, but I think Don. I might be able to win. Star Wars Fitz. I can sneak up on Fitz.
We're live.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
Hey, we were just chatting, waiting for the live stream to start, and what do you know? It started. Melon today decided to create 3 live streams, and all of a sudden it just started. I don't think notifications went out. It's a hot mess. But
Free melons, like a tribute to Total Recall. If you've seen that one, you know what I'm talking about.
I've got one question for you today, right at the top of the show, Jason. I need to know which Jason are you? Somebody asked in one of my videos recently, said, "Is this the same Jason Ward who thinks it's preposterous to fix Episode 9, or is this a different Jason Ward?" It is preposterous that they remake the original trilogy. The time and money and disrespect that would take. But all they have to do to save Star Wars. All they have to do to save Star Wars. It's in desperate, dire straits, you know.
If Boba Fett does anything, it's all about respect. It's all about respect.
Fix the Luke scene of Episode 9 and make Rey the daughter of Luke as originally intended. You do that, and Star Wars is saved. No, but I need which Jason Ward am I talking to today?
Wrong one. I'm the one who wants to Bix Episode 9. If you just put Bix in everything in Episode 9, it's the best Star Wars movie.
Bix.
That's
Star Wars is saved.
Fix it. Luke's there, the ghost of Bix, and you're just like, man, Luke, you really made it, dude. Like, what a send off. You know, that's my take.
That's fantastic.
I actually don't know what this person is talking about. I just thought we said it was preposterous that there was an alternate cut of Episode 9 because that doesn't exist. That movie is the movie that JJ made. There was no Disney interference. That's the movie. And Nikki, I will never stop. I want to fight you, Nikki. You're the one I want to fight now. I was trying to figure out who I wanted to fight. I want to fight you, Nikki.
Yeah, that would be it. Hey, Jared. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. You're not Jason. You're Jared.
Jared.
That's
Jared. Jacob.
Jacob. I don't know. It starts with a J. Some J guy.
Yeah. That sounds right.
No, it is funny because my daughter's dating a boy named Jacob.
Oh.
And my wife always wants to call him Jared or Jason or anything other than Jacob. So she always gets it wrong a couple of times before she's like, oh, yeah, wait, it's Jacob.
You ever call him Jaster Morel because you're a Star Wars guy?
That would be great.
Hey, Jaster.
Jaster.
He's like,
good to see you again.
It's like, no one's ever called me that before. You're just weird, old man. Santa Claus.
It's great. It's great.
Dude, I never thought about that though. Like dudes who go out with your daughter are like, dude, I'm dating Santa Claus's daughter. How weird is that?
So a couple of things have happened. So, now this is my oldest daughter, Shay. She's dating a Jacob. The youngest daughter, who's still in college, she graduates this December. She dated a boy who found out that I was Star Wars fan. He's like, no way. No. Like, your dad's like famous. I'm like, dude, it's not the case. And I said, but I am friends with Star Wars Meg. And if you want to talk about somebody who's famous, that's Meg. Meg is certainly the superstar in our community. And
I know. I don't even see her anymore. She's so famous. She's just out there hobnobbing, going to Andor premieres. Whatever, Meg. Sell out. I want to fight you, Meg. Now I want to fight Meg. That's my next goal. Fight Meg.
Everybody wants to fight Ducky. That's the other one.
Oh,
Ducky
yeah. After that contest he won. Ducky, you've fallen though. You used to be
He is.
you used to really know how to predict things, but you lost it.
Right.
Waddle away, Ducky.
That's right. So yeah, one boy my daughter dated, he got really starstruck that I knew Meg, and he was
really?
really like, yeah. And so they went to like their local comic book shop up in Cleveland area.
Yeah,
And
this is really tracking right now, y'all. I went to the comic book shop. I'm believing the story. I mean, this is sounding on.
Well, they were going to have like on Free Comic Book Day this past May. They were going to have me come in as a celebrity. I'm like, you guys, like, what?
Yeah, the little Chewbacca's like, yeah, do it. And I'll come too.
If I'm your idea of celebrity, you need to maybe get some more friends.
One time, a comic book store was really generous, really nice, and they're like, "Hey, will you come to our Star Wars event as a guest of honor?" And this is when I lived in San Francisco, so I'm like, that's weird, but I guess sure. So I go in there, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna start the event in 20 minutes. Everybody get out. And so I go to leave, right? And they're like, not you. You're the guest of honor. And I'm like, okay. So I just sit down, right?
Right.
And then the PR staff of Lucasfilm, who's there, doesn't have to leave, obviously. And they proceed to sit there and talk about Ahsoka Tano coming to Star Wars Rebels, like right there in front of me. As they burned me, like literally like the people who burned me, like several times, like literally taking interviews they offered me from. This is before I was like a scooper, if you will. And then I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, wow, that's cool. They're just giving me this Ahsoka Tano scoop. So I go home. I'm like, Ahsoka Tano's in Star Wars Rebels. Just trust me. I heard it at this event. And then later on, years later, when they called me to like go, what are you doing? Doing the Lucasfilm phone calls that I would get. They're like, you sit there and you hide in the shadows to hear what we say. I'm like, hide in the shadow. I'm sitting in the center of the room. You guys just have a big ass mouth, Lucasfilm. You don't know what you're doing. And so now whenever I see that PR person, I get like the stink eye. But the truth is, she always looks like she has a stink eye, so I can't really tell the difference. But I do know that she's really good at playing Bejeweled instead of answering emails that she should to important, prominent people. Not myself, but other people. I've seen it lots of times. She plays a lot of Bejeweled. I've had sources that go, "Oh, she doesn't play Bejeweled all day," and I was like, "Why? Is Farmville down?" So yeah, pretty much. I'm not bragging, Nikki. This is me going, I think it's ridiculous, but the story is what the point is. Nikki, you know what? I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna go down there to Florida. I'm not gonna see it coming. I'm just gonna jump out. I'm gonna have like a red vine. I'm just gonna like slap fight like Seagal with red vines. Have you seen how Seagal slap fights now in his movies? Like,
no.
he doesn't really do martial arts. He just does this like slap fight thing, and it's real slow, and then they speed it up, and it's really funny.
I haven't seen Seagal in a film in a long time.
Yeah, don't. I hate watch it to laugh at it like Nikki with Star Wars.
her fists were made to knock the shell out of it.
Oh shit!
I love that, Nikki. That should be your tagline. Nikki. He is made to knock the shell out of you. That's great. So we have a couple of Star Wars topics before we get to the Andor predictions and Episode 5 preview. The first is just this week, the High Republic Phase 2 just started coming out.
Legalize it. Phase 2, man.
We had Phase 1 with 3 waves in it. Phase 2 just started. Phase 2, Wave 1. I haven't got the first book yet. I saw it come up for Amazon Kindle and Audible, but I'm listening to The Princess and the Scoundrel, that classic novel that nobody's reading. But anyway, I got it from the public library for free. I'm not buying that thing, right? But I did get that, and listening to it, I'm about 9 chapters in. and some of it is real cringe. Like just, oh my goodness, terrible. Some of it's fun. Some of it's fun. So I'll give that a listen to for free.
Would you say it's like the cringe? So here's the whole thing with, not that I want it. I will probably never read that one. But is the cringe on point for the genre that it's mixing Star Wars with? Or is it just purely cringe? It's literally not. Like for instance, I don't really like that Taika Waititi Thor movie. I tried to watch it a few times. I get what he's going for. It's not for me, but it's clearly he's taking the rom-com, mixing it with the superhero genre, and seeing what happens. Nothing I'm interested in, turns out. Right. But is that cringy, like doing something as pure as that experiment, or is it just cringe because it's just terrible?
It's a magical combination of both.
Okay.
Right. Like well, Han proposes to Leia and she accepts. That whole interaction there, like, oh, super awkward, weird. And then, there's a couple other things similar to that where professing their love for one another or something. And it's just like, yikes, that is just cringy. And if it were not in Star Wars, it would still be cringy. So It's got the Star Wars flavor. You got Luke and Leia and Han and Chewbacca. Chewbacca, it's just all of it. But there are parts of it that are pretty good.
Is Chewbacca the ring bearer? Does he like Chewbacca the best man? Who's the best man? Luke?
A weird thing happened. Chewbacca's the best man. He had to kind of push Han out of the shadows and to walk down the aisle, whatever. But they had this weird ring ceremony thing in it, where this because they're on Endor, right, and the Ewoks are kind of presiding over the whole thing. There's a big party and things are going amok. But they get to the wedding and he goes down, and the rings were like sap that came out of the tree, wrapped itself around their fingers, and then hardened.
Okay.
Magic tree sap from Endor, the wedding ring.
So Ewoks have wedding rings, is what this, and it's tree sap, is what they're trying to tell me.
That's it.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my whole entire life. It's one of the stupidest things in Star Wars. It's one of the stupidest things I just ever heard in general.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're getting ready to go on the Halcyon because that's going to be a great symbol of hope and pride and optimism for the galaxy.
Yeah. So basically what we're learning is that after Return of the Jedi, Han and Leia became stupid assholes. Sorry. Magic tree sap. That's all you need to know. Magic tree sap. That's and then Han's wondering, how long is this stuff going to stay on my finger? Yeah.
Does it wear off? Can I take a shower? Does it ever?
Yeah. When I was married, I could never wear my wedding ring. I hate wearing rings. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people.
I've got both. So this is the ring that when my wife and I got married 30 some years ago. We got when we were young and infatuated. And then this is the ring. It's much chunkier and that we just got for like our 30th anniversary. So
congratulations!
I've got two. That was 5 years ago. Now
okay.
We're working on 36.
35 years, 36 years now. So there you go. That's good.
Magic tree sap. Yes. It's quite interesting. I don't know. I'm like, okay, I'll keep listening to this thing, but I'm super glad I didn't buy it. But High Republic, I know you kind of checked out on the High Republic Phase 1. Any interest at all? Phase 2 is a different time period, different Jedi, different stories. Yeah. Any interest in checking it out?
I don't know. I might if I at present, no. But if I hit like I'm really bored with everything and I'm like, oh, I'll try it and it's there, I have Audible credits or something, then I might go in on it. But odds are I will just end up listening to some weird UFO book instead. This is the reality of it. But
Magic Tree Sap hasn't sold you yet?
No, not yet. And then I think I'll like, yeah, the books that are just so removed from the visuals of the television shows and the movies and stuff, I have like less interest in it. Just that's just me. I like it when it's sort of like connected more to something that's happening in film or related to like a film I just saw or a story I just saw. Like if there was an Andor sequel book that takes place in between seasons, that's what I would be interested in reading right now, for instance.
What if, and get this for a transition, right? A pro move coming up, right? What if the Acolyte brings in some of these people?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's impressive, wasn't it? No.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Is phase 2 of the books, are we at the same time as the Acolyte show now, or are we still 50 years before or so?
From what I understand, phase 2 jumps back a lot longer.
Okay.
So happens.
Wait, phase 2 is a prequel to phase 1, or to the show?
The prequel to phase 1.
God damn it! Sorry, I didn't use bad word. But it's like, come on, Lucasfilm, why would you do it like that? Like that's so dumb.
It's Star Wars tradition, Jason. You get the originals, then the prequels, and then the sequels.
That is ridiculous. I mean, that is just come on.
That's the George Lucas way. That's
they did a pre. They're making this up as they go.
You think?
We have all 3 phases planned out, and it's all fourth act. Then why didn't you just start there from the very start?
Right. Well, here's the thing. So, like, yeah, phase 1 came. You had the 3 waves of it. You see, you get in the pattern, right? The original trilogy, 3 movies. Phase 1, 3 waves. Yeah. Now we get phase 2. Prequels, yeah. Anyhow, but wave 3 of phase 1 ended in a bit of a cliffhanger. Like it's not resolved. I won't say it's not exactly cliffhanger. It's unresolved story, and you're wondering where's this going to go? What happens next? And then you don't know. And then I'm like, oh, phase 2 is coming. Ooh, we'll find out. No. Phase 2 is a prequel to phase 1.
Yeah, that is. I'm sorry, but when you're going out and you're like talking about these huge RPG sessions that you guys have all done and how forward thinking you are, and then you make that's needlessly confusing.
Right.
I mean, I get. Hey, this movie is a prequel. I decided to do this other trilogy about these people. I get that. That's fine. But when you're doing a book series from before, that's just... I'm sorry, but that is just bad.
I'm not a fan of it either. I was like, why didn't you just put them in chronological order?
The whole phase is... Because they could have just started at phase 2. If they wanted to be Star Wars tradition-y, then they should have just been phase 4 when they started. And then that way, at least we would be reading the phases in order, because now phase 1 is not in chronological order to phase 2.
Right.
I'm sorry, but that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. If I'm understanding this right, and I'm a dummy, so maybe I'm not, but that sounds stupid to me.
Phase 1, wave 1 is episode 4. In the it's not episode, but you know what I mean. That's in the analogy.
You know what my brain just said to Lucasfilm? It said, "Shut up, nerds." I'm in like full Biff Tannen mode right now. They just George McFly'd my patience. I'm like, "Shut up, nerds." Say hi to your mom for me. That's what you're
probably making Nikki quite happy because you're raging out on them. That's
I'm just kissing Nikki's butt after I said I wanted to fight her. That's all.
I gotcha. So the Acolyte, that's supposed to tie into the High Republic, right?
Oh, this is actually a sequel trilogy sequel film series now. They just messed up and told you it was set before the Phantom Menace. Yeah. It's a sequel,
to the prequels.
It's a sequel to the prequels. It's not the Dark Times though.
It's the prequel sequel to the prequel.
It takes place 15 minutes before Order 66. It's called the Acolyte era now. Yeah.
Oh, it's so hilarious.
I don't even want to find out what's gonna happen when Rob hears about this. He's just not gonna stop talking about it. So don't anybody tell him on my show, okay?
Okay.
All right, just
Rob will be like, wait. Where somebody call Rob. Somebody.
Yeah. Let's not do a fun and just buy Rob the books and start sending him to his house. Sorry. No. Okay, Bestman Bulletin. My sister.
A prequel sequel to the prequels. That's it, Kay. It's a prequel sequel to the prequels. That's it.
Oh, okay. A prequel sequel.
Kay's got it. She's perfect.
Lucasfilm clarity, being very accessible to everyone.
Look, I can, I try to shield as hard as I can, but there's sometimes you just can't. You're just like, no, I don't
Yeah, I mean, it was really dumb when they called it the High Republic because that's just so mockable. I mean, it sounds like a Cheech and Chong movie. It sounds like a Cheech and Chong movie, set like in the Revolutionary War or something. Like that's what I think of when I hear the High Republic. And yeah.
Oh, and Nerd Mafia, he brings up Tales of the Jedi. That's October 26th. So that's coming up. We're just about 3 weeks away. Just over 3 weeks away from Tales of the Jedi. That should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. We'll talk more about it as it gets closer. But yeah, just 3 weeks. 3 weeks in a day or so. So the Acolyte, last week we talked about this rumor that came out. The Acolyte's in trouble. It's not going to get made. It's on hiatus. Nope. It never got greenlit. It's in purgatory. It's never going to see the light of day. And we're wondering, where does that come from? And here we go. Our good friend Bespin from Jason's Basement enclosure.
He's in the walls.
Reports.
Under the stairs.
The Outdoors set is progressing at Shinfield Studios. And they've got some great pictures in here. That looks like drone footage.
Actually, Bespin can fly. That's a misconception. Bespin, he has the ability to hover about 200, 300 feet off the ground. Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, that's actually Bespin. That's Bespin floating around.
Sometime this month, filming on the highly anticipated Star Wars series, The Acolyte, is due to begin filming at Shinfield Studios, Berkshire, and over the course of the past month or so, still Shinfield Studios, Berkshire. Period. I don't know.
This is what happens when you need to hit 300 words for pictures to get indexed on Google. I feel you, Bespin. I know where you're coming from, man. So he's just like Leslie Headland, Berkshire. Let me put some Welsh words in there because those
United
really
Kingdom, England, Northern Wales. I don't know what.
GPS coordinates. Negative 16, 15. Yeah, he's just like going in.
I don't know. But anyway, over the past month or so, we've seen development of an outdoor set. And this is where Meg revealed to us that she took a piss in that field. Do you remember that?
I tried to forget, but you didn't apparently. You weirdo.
No, somebody in the chat mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that sort of weirdly. It was hilarious when she said it. So,
I heard that's why they're filming there. Is it was cheaper for the fire insurance after they found out because they saw that movie Strange Brew and they're like, oh, that works. Megan just put it out.
So hilarious. It says so they're building this. And today brings us an update on the aforementioned set. There's another good word for you. Aforementioned.
Aforementioned.
Yeah.
What if this is actually like just a little tiny model that Bespin built like on his table? Like look at it. It kind of does look like it's like a little tiny like thing, and he puts like his like little Barbie dolls in there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm big, so I love you, Bespin Bulletin."
Funny. So yeah, I think look, you can see this is a town. The streets they curve around, whatever. I don't see anything in here remarkably like telling.
Yeah.
It looks Star Warsy townish. This here looks a little bit R2D2 ish to me.
Yeah, yeah, that wall right on the right hand side of where you're clicking like reminds me of like Naboo kind of stuff almost, but yeah, and then it has some of those like Naboo greens on some of it, but I think it's a new place. But
here's the R2D2 building. Here's the Boba Fett building.
This doesn't line up with any of the stuff in the concept art that Ahsoka's had. That he showed me anyways. Gotcha. So this looks like something completely different. So like I saw on Mig's video, she like was just speculating for fun, and she's like, maybe it's the village that she comes from, but it doesn't look like the village stuff at all. So I think this is something different, something that we never heard about anyways. And then a lot has been said that if this is smaller than the Andor set, therefore it means it won't look as good as Andor and blah 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 blah. Two things about that. The Andor stuff, number one, we can't tell. We have no idea. We won't be able to tell. We don't know what's being used for. But the Andor stuff, when you actually look at it, the Andor set is 6 episodes worth of set, because it's like the first. We think the first 3 and the last 3 are Ferrix. So when they built that, they were building 6 episodes worth of sets. So it made sense to make the big town, so to speak, and then film all of that stuff like together. And so I think that's why they were able to do that in this show. If for instance, if this is where the main character lives, we might not go back to it. So they obviously wouldn't do what they did on Andor, because they're not going to get 6 episodes worth of content out of it. So I think that fan math about what that means, I just don't think it's correct. It's correct, a correct estimation of what any of this means. So this show might suck. I'm not saying anything for it or against it. I just don't see. The analogy just doesn't work.
I'm hopeful for it. I'm very, very hopeful for it. What you see from the images, we're now able to get a sense for what the set is going to become. It says, to me, it appears to be a small town or village. Reminds me of a much smaller scale version of the Ferrix set built for Andor, as you were just talking about.
Yeah, and I can compare the size of this to what they film out in El Segundo for Mando, Ahsoka, and Kenobi, and this set, the buildings go way taller. Like we're talking double to triple of the El Segundo stuff. What you see. So what that means is we will only have shots that are at eye line level, flat, looking boring, which is what they do on the LA productions, because they don't build. I don't know if they can't build the sets higher, or they don't want to rely on set extensions or something, or they're just cheap. It could be both. It could be all 3. But that's why, like in Kenobi, if you watch it, everything is like very flat, straight on. But then when you look at Andor, they'll put the camera like down low, and you'll get areas where you can see like kind of like up, and the character walks in the frame, and it's much more visually interesting. This is going to have that for sure. I could just tell you that because of the height of the sets.
Great. That's great. So it's slated to film from October to May of next year. So yeah, all of those rumors that Andor was in trouble or whatever, totally fake. Right.
Or Acolyte, not Andor. Acolyte was in trouble. That's because I think it's either completely was just BS the whole time, or they were hearing old rumors, because that's the whole thing, is when you hear a rumor like that, you don't know when it expired. When somebody tells you a rumor that is true, unless they give you a specific date about when the events took place or a frame of reference, it might be old. Like that's why, for instance, I don't remember her name, but the blonde lady who reports on superhero stuff on YouTube. She did this thing about Pedro Pascal and a book like one of the Book of Boba Fett. What she said was completely inaccurate, but if you move it back about a year to season 1, completely accurate.
Yeah, Grace Randolph.
Yeah, so I because I heard all of that stuff. I knew exactly when it took place, what was going on. I knew everything about him getting the role in Mandalorian. And so I thought about it for a second. I'm like, she's right, but she's wrong. She's wrong. Her time is. So when she heard that rumor, it was just that it was an old rumor at that point. So on this one, when people are saying it's in trouble and stuff, I think that they might be talking about basically almost a year ago now.
Gotcha. Well, as I say here, we know some of the cast.
Grace Randolph. And that wasn't a slight against her. I just don't follow the superhero stuff. I don't know anything about it.
Right.
So
Matt Risman. Grace, no Easter eggs, Randolph. Yeah, that's the same one.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Well, and I keep hearing this too, like Andor wasn't supposed to have any Easter eggs. I'm like, wait, I never heard that. I never heard it wasn't supposed to have Easter eggs. I heard that it wasn't supposed to be fan servicey and it wasn't going to have, loads of cameos.
That is a pet peeve of mine. The misinterpretation of that. It's so Tony Gilroy has no idea what that Plo Koon mask is in the shop. I don't think he gives a shit. I don't think he cares. I don't think he knows what it is. He just said it's an antique store. Yeah, put a bunch of stuff in there. He wasn't like he got up in the morning. He was like, I miss Plo Koon. Let's put Plo Koon in there. And then therefore that means he doesn't know. He doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, you put Star Wars stuff in there. What he's saying is that you're not going to have Chewbacca come in the frame and go, "Oh, hey, Andor, let's start a rebellion" for no reason. And then he's even clarified since, though. He's like a character who won't be there unless they're supposed to be there.
Right. And so, that was a really good interview from a few days ago.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to have a reason for being there. And he's not saying they're not going to be there. They will be, but not for just the purpose of being there. They're there for a reason. So, but back to the Acolyte here.
Back to the bulletin. That's what
we do have some casting. So for a project that supposedly was dead, they cast for it. They're building sets for it. Look, it's happening. It's happening, right? So,
well, I mean, it would be funny to get the guy from Squid Game in your show if it's been canceled. Take that, Squid Game. That'll take the smile off your face, you successful actor.
That's great. That's great. But yeah, you can see like these are 2-story structures and a little bit into the third there, right? So, these are pretty tall. It says it won't be the only project filming in the UK this autumn even. Right, the second season of Andor has begun at Pinewood, or it's beginning. I think it already began, from what I heard. It says this November, with filming due to run until August and release second half of 2024.
Yeah, Andor. The day the show premiered, I think it was actually the date that I had that the first sets for Andor were going to start being built for Andor 2.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then he mentions that that skeleton crew footage that he saw before, where you see the guy riding or the girl riding the bike, and then the harness pulls her up and off of it. Mm-hmm. Pretty good little scene, but yeah. So look, High Republic is moving forward. Phase 2, Wave 1 is coming out this week. The Acolyte, this ties into the High Republic, is moving forward. All of the naysayers saying that the High Republic is doomed to fail. It's moving forward, and I have very high hopes for it. I'll be reading. As far as Phase 1 of the novels, I enjoyed most of them. Some of them weren't necessarily for me. And looking forward to getting into Phase 2 and seeing what it's all about. But I share the frustration that Phase 2 is a prequel to Phase 1 and just odd. That's my High Republic cover.
It really stinks of, wow, let's really not step on the toes of the show and make it connect in any way, and even like have these things talking to each other. Let's move back even further. That way, by the time the show comes out and phase 3 starts, then we could at least acknowledge that stuff exists. I bet you that's what their layout was on
the
that.
Baymax is having issues with the YouTube machine.
No,
he's texting us.
Yeah.
So the two said he can't get the comments to come up, and I saw Fitz's comment here. He can't get the comments to come up, and it won't let it be shared. YouTube's blocking the video from sharing.
Hootie tootie disco cutie. Hootie tootie disco cutie.
I copied the shared link and put it in a couple of Discord servers because it didn't send out the notification. Is anybody else having trouble with the comments? Well, we see people in the comments here. So obviously some people are doing it.
Did Baymax happen to accidentally unfollow? Because you have to be a follower to comment. So is that maybe what's locking him out?
That could be it. Are you unsubscribed, Baymax?
Yeah, what the heck, Baymax? Why aren't you following Santa? You got a problem with Santa, dude? Because I'll be honest,
loser.
You got a problem with Santa. You got a problem with me, loser. Old punk.
No, I did turn it on for subscribers only.
Okay, well, I'm checking it right now.
Okay, all right, we'll make sure it's good. While you're pulling up, Baymax is a boomer. I said, Nikki. Nikki's great.
Nope, it works.
Yes, sounds like a boomer problem. What happened?
Yeah,
Mike the Shill. He can share. It's.
Wait,
I look. I have been seeing my subscribers count going down. It's going down like a dozen over the past couple weeks. So I have subscriber mode on. Hopefully that gets some folks to subscribe to the channel. Share it out there. Let people know what we're doing. We're having a lot of fun talking about Nikki. Maybe he got banned by mistake. Promise it wasn't me. It's good. It's good. Yeah. So subscribers have been down. If you guys, let people know we're out here. That'd be great. He's still subscribed. He just sent the thing. He's still subscribed. I don't know.
All right. Well, sorry for calling you a loser, man. I get real mad because
maybe he needs a new phone. You need a new phone, Baymax.
He gets a new phone because YouTube is broken.
That's great. What does it say? Okay. All right. I've done all the things, he said. Andor, episode 4. We have a little bit of this is weird. Sometimes Star Wars, I know. Andor analyzed 5 highlights from episode 4. The 5 is a little 5 highlights from episode 4. First of all, episode 4, we're a third of the way through. Assume I've seen your show, but you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying
it's all going well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Me and Nikki are enjoying it. Me and Nikki talk about it a lot, like how much she loves it, and like I'm like, I'm glad that you're happy because when you're happy, I'm happy. That's what I say. So that's just how I feel about things.
You're gonna get her mad again. The five highlights they brought from episode 4. Let me hitting the wrong button. They brought up Supervisor Miro, the Deidre Miro. It says that look, she came into the episode. They classify her here too as a ladder climber. Somebody at work who's trying to climb the ladder and get a rung up, and that was very much the case in the episode. They were pointing out how much she was working it. So
if you fall here, you fall on your own, or something like that.
Yeah. The faster you go up, the faster the fall down. I've heard that as well. So be careful. You want to build a nice solid foundation to climb that ladder on. So Hey, Knights of Melvin. He must have heard that I was, we were giving the High Republic a hard time a little bit earlier. Good to see you, Knights of Melvin. We were certainly being critical. You have to go back to the beginning, though, Melvin. You have to go back to the beginning. Catch the first part where we're talking about the High Republic and how stupid that they're doing all this. Right?
Nikki said shill, and he was like, "Did somebody call me? Was it the shill signal?" He's like Batman.
Well, she probably texted him and said, "Hey, Santa's losing his shill check," and so he came in to see Santa getting irate, but you missed. You kind of missed it.
You lost that love in shilling. Oh, sorry. We're going to do the whole Top Gun sequence here. Let's do it. Come on. We'll do it to a Nikki right now. You ready? Okay. Never mind.
No.
All right. You're the worst goose I've ever met.
I am. I really am. The second was call him Clem. Now, I love this name, Clem. Just because it's hilarious. But I get in story, it has...
Got some Clem in my throat. Yeah.
But Clem, it's a good Southern name. Clem. Come on over here, Clem.
Clem.
Hand me that wrench.
No, it's actually his name is Clementine. That's the full name.
What's his dad's name, right? He just, or his adopted dad, whatever. So he had, he used that. That's fine. But I was just entertained with the Clem. That's a Star Wars name. You got Luke and Clem, and then you get great names that are, Cassian, right? So you go with Clem, and then this we talked a little bit about in our watch party. Did Luthen put on a costume? Does the wig qualify as costume? And here they said the wig, the rings, the posture. We wouldn't have recognized Luthen if he hadn't transformed before our eyes. See, costume. That's I think for sure. And then they follow that up with Mon Mothma. Now, Mon Mothma, they kind of...
When he puts on that ring, was it sap?
Right? Is it magic sap from the trees, forest of Endor? Right? It's crazy. Yeah, Melvin, go back and check the tree sap, the magic sap discussion. You'll love it.
You know what? Just go to Amazon and buy the book. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Magic tree sap.
Yeah, it's good.
Really?
It's sappy.
Really? Yes. Some of it, yes. It's the amber they used to freeze the younglings. That's it, Nikki. Yeah. Magic tree sap marriage bands. That's one of the stupidest things. Yeah, he's not going to like that. Right? Go back and catch that as part of the discussion. But Mon Mothma, here she's got two different personas. Right? She's not like two different characters. She's two different personas. Her, of course, working for the Senate and working for the rebellion at the same time.
Right.
And then we got the Aldani.
Women, they have to have two jobs in this economy. It's really messed up, you guys. I really think it's messed up at this time. I mean, the second shift, you know what I'm saying?
all that Trumpian politics that they put in the show.
Totally. 100%.
So the Lieutenant Gorn is the inside man who's feeding them information. I don't know if I caught that Lieutenant Gorn was the inside man before.
Wait, Gorn's the guy who shows up on the speeder bike, correct? He's like the wait. Oh, I can't see. Wait, I can't see. Yeah. He's an Imperial. He comes over from the Imperial camp and it's like, who's this guy? But he has like a British accent because he's an Imperial. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that he was an Imperial. I've watched it a couple times, but
yeah, when he shows up on the speeder bike, I think he's actually like on like, I didn't steal the speeder bike. Like, this is my Imperial speeder bike because I'm a speeder bike bad guy.
Gotcha.
I think so. Anyways, yeah.
So that's Lieutenant Gorn there.
Lieutenant Gorn.
So that's
they call him the Gorn dog around here. That's what we call him.
Jedi Mike giving it a good advice there.
Gorn horn. So What do you think about the theory that that's Mon Mothma's daughter leading the camp?
Oh, interesting.
Have you followed
Not
that?
sure. No, I haven't seen that.
So what's her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. The white blonde lady who's running the camp, the one who Andor meets outside the ship. Well, there's a picture
Vel
of her.
Sartha.
Vel Sartha. There's a picture of Vel Sartha in Mon Mothma's apartment from the trailer, from the final trailer, actually, not a picture, a shot. And she's really fancy looking. Yeah, she's not all all wild out there in the Highlands. And so she's in the apartment. So she actually goes to Mon Mothma's apartment. Then Gilroy let slip, I think it was a slip, that Mon Mothma has a daughter.
Oh.
So we know she has a daughter, and we see her in the apartment. Her name is Vel Sartha, Mon Mothma. The husband's name is like Pelgartha or something. I can't remember what it is. But it's like it all sounds the same. So
Pelimoto.
Yeah, they get married at 16 on Chandrilla, which so that could explain why she has a different last name, because she married somebody else. She got married, so that's why she's not a Mothma or thinking her father's last name or her mom's last name. And so somebody yesterday in my chat was like, I don't like that because she should be eating fancy. And I'm like, I think it actually, if it does go that way, I think it's really cool because it says that Mon Mothma not only is leading the cause while she's on Coruscant sitting pretty, but she's sending her kid, her own daughter, to do it. Why would she do it? Well, who can you trust more than your own daughter? You know what I mean? In this instance, they're really afraid of spies and everybody on the outside bringing people in. They're really nervous about it. So it makes sense that she married a Targaryen.
No, I saw another theory. Again, this is somebody's entire speculation.
Is
that
Bane switch?
Luthen, the way that he got that Kyber crystal and the way that he knows things he knows and has things he has is he was a former Jedi who's now in hiding.
Okay.
I'm not buying it.
I mean, he does when he says what he says and has the crystals. Why? But I think the implication of the crystal, I mean, the crystal's like an antique. When those hybrid or Old Republic guys attacked, and what that crystal is a monument of, he wouldn't have been alive. So I think that one sounds less plausible. I mean, anything could happen, but I think he probably had. I think if there is a Jedi connection, though, it's because he was an antique dealer dealing in rare things. So he probably did talk to them like, hey, what is this? Do you know about this? Is this any interest to you guys? You guys want to buy this for me? You guys want to buy this for you? That kind of thing. So he may have had friendships with people like, in the Jedi archives and that kind of stuff like that. So that way they have some sort of connection, because he's probably selling stuff to them, and what they didn't want to buy, he's probably slinging on his own mark. Because, I mean, he's no spring chicken. So he's clearly out there running that store during the time. It doesn't make sense to me. How old do you think that guy is? Like in his 70s, probably 60s,
Luthen?
late 60s. Yeah.
60s at least.
60s, 70s. Yeah. So, I'm 60 years old now. I'll go open up an antique store now that the Republic's fallen down the street from the Jedi Order. I'll do that. Like, if he was a Jedi, he wouldn't be on Coruscant. He would have boned out. He'd be on some backwater planet running a 7-Eleven. I don't think he'd be running a high-end antique store a mile from the Jedi Temple. That's just my take. For all of the careful planning we've had in the show, that would be like a weird one, I think.
Jedi Mike, my dad's 75. My dad just turned 76. We were talking about him just before the show. Tomorrow, we've got to go do his livestock feed. We've got to get about 4 tons of livestock feed, and he's going to take the trip with me. So it's typically an all-day kind of thing. We have to go all the way over to near Indiana, other side of Wright Pat Air Force Base in Ohio. We have to go all the way over there and then get the feed, and then there's several deliveries on the way back. And so I got to spend the day with Dad tomorrow, driving around letting him visit his feed customers. That'd be great. But
my theory is that he's recovering so well because he was a Jedi. That's my theory.
There you go. There you go. Or maybe I'm a Jedi. You guys just don't know it, right? You used the.
Did you force heal?
Power.
Did you?
That's why I love
Did you?
Ray so much. Yeah. Says the rings of power. We use the sap rings in season 2. The sap rings. I'm telling you guys, that was like, what is this?
Yeah, it just to me it sounds so stupid because like it almost, I didn't read the book, so I don't know if it explains it, but it sounds like it would be something that Ewoks do. We never seen Ewoks do that. Ewoks,
it's out of a magic tree.
Yeah. Oh, the Ewok magic tree of wedding rings in case people from a different planet come to live with us someday. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, are we going to learn that Sindel is Wicket's child bride? Like, everybody check her fingers when you watch the Ewok Adventure next time. Be careful.
Or maybe they all have rings on. It's just the hair on their hands covers them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just all like gross with all matted with hair and stuff. You can't take it off. You're married for life in the Ewok village.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
You can't do it.
I mean, how do you get the magic tree sap off your finger?
Got to cut it off. You got to lose a finger for a divorce in Ewok culture.
How does that happen? Even.
Yeah. I mean, they do wear like things on their heads. They might be a little bit, that might be how they roll. But
so episode 5 comes out tonight. Episode 5. To me, so for the predictions game, the link for the predictions game is in the description here. We're not going to go through that together, but just to give folks your perception of what we might see tonight. To me, it's that we seem to have this 3 episode arcs that tie all together in one great big story. But we had, let's see, is it Wave 2, Phase 1? No, Phase 1, Phase 2, Wave 1. Now, how would you? No,
I think phase 2 is when you start like listening to like Depeche Mode, going, "This stuff's pretty good," and then you go through like a different phase where you're like, "What was that phase all about?"
So, Andor phase 2. No, this would be Phase 1 episode or Wave 1 or Wave 2 tonight. Phase 2.
This is Phase 2 because it's a prequel. So
no, Phase 2 would have been the first 3. And now this would be Phase 1.
No. Rogue One is Phase 1. This is the prequel. So this is Phase 2. Come on, get it straight, dude.
It's so stupid.
And then season 2 is Phase 3, which is a sequel to Phase 2, but it takes place before Phase 1.
Right.
It's so easy. It's so easy. It's very accessible. Star Wars is for everyone. That's what I say on Twitter. Then I make my production layout really complicated and not for anyone.
So this is the second episode of the next 3 story arc. To me, I'm not expecting a lot of action. Pew pew, space fights, murder mayhem, and that kind of thing. I'm expecting this to build towards that we'll get in episode 6. So with my predictions for tonight, I based a lot of my guesses off of that sort of information. Mm-hmm. Where are you on thinking tonight's episode might be?
Yeah, I think tonight's episode is likely going to juxtapose life on Aldhani with life on Coruscant, where you have rich, opulent people at a dinner party while this other planet that's bombarded and the rebels are, eating roots, essentially living in the dirt of the forest or whatever. And then I'm guessing that the 3rd episode will culminate with the heist. That I bet you in this episode, maybe they leave for the heist. Maybe like we kind of see like them departing for it, but that's that's my guess about how it'll flow based off of the pacing of the previous episodes.
Yeah, that's where I am as well. And there was a question. I saw some people wondering, will we actually see the dinner scene, or will it be like Darth Vader's dinner scene with Han and Leia? You know, do we get to actually see it?
I hope I'm not. I don't think. I hope I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, he could have put it out by now. He didn't. So he either already did or he hasn't. But Bespin a long time ago told me about like Chandrillian extras, and we pondered: are we going to see Chandrilla? Didn't know, but I'm kind of thinking now that if those Chandrilla extras, and Bespin is too, that it might be for the dinner party. So that's kind of where my head's at based off of that. I think we will see the dinner party. In fact, we do see the dinner party because we saw Mon Mothma in that dress looking fine and low on supply. Remember that? Saw that.
Yes.
So that was a thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, I'm excited for it. And so there's a question on our predictions about cameos. A cameo from somebody who's in another movie, TV show, comic, or novel kind of idea. And we excluded from that like Saw Gerrera or Mon Mothma because they're more central figures to the story, not cameos. But there was a name drop last week of a certain somebody that we could see this week, who's also in the thumbnail. Here, let me hide myself for a second.
Was it the Jason Ward who believes the episode cannot be fixed?
It's this lady over there from the
Sinead O'Connor. That's a timely reference.
Sinead O'Connor. Yeah. So, are we going to see? Do you think we're going to see her in the episode?
I hope so. I think it would be fun. I mean, here's how it goes. They name drop Masamita's role, his title, and Vampire Lady, and so Vampire Lady and Masamita either show up and are the worst dinner guest ever, or they're such jerks they don't show up, and she's like all bent out of shape, and then the husband starts to go, the fun friends aren't showing up because you suck, Mon Mothma, and you don't know how to party. Is my man bun straight? And then I think that it could go that way too. Well, but based on our buddy Meg's scoop back in the day, I plan on seeing Masamita and him eating hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, I hope they show up. I mean, I would count both of those as cameos from the prequels. So those would definitely count.
But is it? See, here's the whole thing, though. Is it a cameo? Like, God, the definition of cameo, it's so like loose because it's like that wouldn't be Gilroy's definition of a cameo now, would it? He's saying there's no cameos, and it's like if they should be there, they're there, and then like it's like a role in the show, like Ponda Baba going roar, 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 when he's in Rogue One. That's like a cameo, but when's it a cameo? When's it a part? Because like therefore like just a character, you know, is Luke Skywalker a cameo in Episode 7?
So I mean, he shows up right at the end.
I know,
part of the story.
But he's part of the story, and then he's so it's not really a cameo. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that I don't this week's predictions. I think it's going to be up to Santa to say if you win or lose because he likes you or doesn't. So if you lose because Santa doesn't like you, that's what I'm getting at.
That's
my take.
I got you. No, Sly Moore. I think that if they're not part of the central story, then they're a cameo. So they're
Sly Stallone Moore is her full name.
Right.
Sly Stallone Moore.
So I'm thinking, look, she is force sensitive. She's going there. They're trying to suss out if
Mon Mothma's
if Mon Mothma is being forthright
sneaky,
or she's doing shady stuff, is she up to no good? Send Sly Moore in there to just kind of get a vibe. What's she doing at this dinner party? Who's coming by? And
Right.
and report back to the Palps. And if Palps is mentioned, name drop, that's the other part. It's another question we have on there. Like, will they name drop Palpatine? I think if Sly Moore is there and they're talking about the Empire, the Emperor may be mentioned again, which they did name drop him the last time. So will they name drop him? I think if the dinner party takes place and Sly Moore shows up, I think it's very likely we get that.
So do you think if Sly Moore shows up, Massa Meta does too?
Well, that was Meg's scoop.
Because I mean, we do know that we see Mon Mothma in the Senate pod. So just because, so he could, like, once again, she could show up. He might not show up. He might be like,
coming to dinner. Lame. That's what I'm wondering.
Is he coming? Right? Is he coming to dinner? And does he have a snake tongue? Does the snake tongue from the cutscenes make it in? Because that was so weird. Because like in Phantom Menace, he's just like, order, come on, can we get some order here, order? And then the Revenge of the cutscene is like, oh, now I got a snake tongue. I didn't have that before, but now I do. So I'm thinking he won't have the snake tongue though.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he will, but I don't know if Masamita was invited to dinner, and
he was because the whatever the role is, I don't remember what the vizier, the whatever. Well, vizier. that's the vizier, the brazier. The brazier is his role. He is that's his role. So that's like saying the VP. Or whatever, like
Nerd Mafia reminds me of another scene from The Princess and the Scoundrel. They're having Han's bachelor party, and things are going fine. But then the Ewoks get word of it, and they come and they crash the bachelor party, and they call all kinds of mayhem. They're just breaking stuff and
okay. How about an episode called Casa Baca? It's Cassie and Casa and Chewbacca on an adventure. That's like Noorish.
Ooh, Jedi Mike says somebody at the party would be poisoned. Ooh, that'd be yeah. All
right. How about Mon Mothma's husband? He puts a bunch of like LSD and Spanish fly in the food. He's like, I'm gonna make this party fun.
And now we're gonna get the party going.
Yeah, yeah. Because it is like space 70s, so he would put Spanish fly.
No.
Okay.
No, Jason.
Okay.
But I'm not expecting Masamita at dinner. I am expecting him.
I want to see him like trying to eat with those dumb tusks. He's like, oh,
right.
He's like knocking stuff over. I can't eat here. I can't eat. This place isn't accessible to me. And he gets up. He's like, I'm going to leave an angry tweet, ableist, and he leaves. Sorry.
What color liquid will they drink at dinner? That's a good question. What kind of dinner drinks are they? Brown. Are they clear? Are they blue?
Brown. It's
maybe
brown.
green milk. I don't know. Was it Darth Vader arrive at dinner with his helicopter lightsaber?
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's me.
Oh, Matt Risman. There you go. Get Max Rebo and the band playing at the dinner party.
Oh,
something's blowing up if Max Rebo's there.
Yeah.
Right. If Max Rebo's at the party, something's blowing up. There's a
with this other band, the Rebros. It's like three of them. That would be a good band.
That's basically my outline for the predictions for tonight. I think it's going to be a setup episode. I very much like what you're saying. Like, we're going to get the high society, living large, eating large, plenty of food, more food than they could possibly eat. And then you're going to get the folks who are living off of breadcrumbs, roots, and tree sap.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I don't think they're going to be eating well until they rob that place. By the sound of it. Well, did Mon Mothma cut him a check? Like in that episode? That was the one thing I didn't couldn't. She couldn't do it, right? Couldn't.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was and because that was like the one thing I was like, where does this conversation end up? Is this just no, I can't? Was that it? Because Also, I had to watch the episode again because, well, actually, Pespin watched it again and figured it out. Me and I were talking. We're like, are they robbing the armory, or are they doing the guns? Like when he says the payroll, it kind of at first seems like he's talking about like a euphemism, and then he gets there and finds out they're taking the guns, which is quote the payroll. But then later on, they actually do mention they're getting the payroll too. So they're stealing they're hitting the armory and the payroll in this episode, which is probably how Cassian is supposed to get paid. I don't think he gets paid unless they succeed
They need the money.
get that because they don't have any money. Yeah, so that's how he will get paid. Yeah, and I kind of wonder, do you think he's going to keep it? Do you think he's going to take his 200?
Saying that she can't launder the money. She's being watched too tightly. Yeah, they get away with the money, and he's going to get paid. But I think it's going to be a Han Solo kind of moment where, remember he just wanted his paycheck to go pay Jabba. Yeah, and Leia said, "Fine, take your money, get on out of here, you loser." And then he comes back and wins the day. I think we're going to see that sort of thing show up here, where Cassian he saves the day. I want my money, and they're like, "Come on, you want to be something bigger? You want to be a part of something bigger?" No, I just want my money and leave me alone. Right? Yeah. I think we're going to get that kind of scene that Han Solo gave as well. That's the one thing we haven't really had we haven't had a moment or time where like you feel like he's bonded with those people at all. And so we need him in that, we need Cassian in that camp talking to these people and able to sort of build a bond, or it doesn't make any sense that he's going to be like, no, keep my 200,000. Like right now, it wouldn't. That's a lot of money. I mean, even bonding with them, that's a lot of money. When your mom's like living with the heat off at home, it's kind of hard to imagine that you don't take the 200,000. So, right,
right. But I have to say, I think mom, I think Ferrix is going to become a hellhole. I think after what Cassian did. And I also don't think the Empire is going to be like, oh, you were Cassian's mom? Well, you didn't do it. Those are Cassian's crimes.
Oh,
I think they're gonna take his mom, and I think they're gonna use her as bait, and she's not gonna have a very easy life, because they're gonna want to pull him out, and they're gonna want to punish her for his crimes. So I think the guns. I think that Luthen is setting up. I think Luthen is in some ways playing a long game. I think he knows what's coming on Ferrix. I think he could see exactly how this working town is going to end up being Imperial occupied any moment now, which happens. And then I think that the guns that they're taking from the armory, I think, are going to be taken back to Ferrix by the end. And that's how they're gonna fight them off. But also, like, you also have like Melshi and stuff like on Scarif coming later on, and I think he's gonna. I think Bespin was saying before that he sells weapons to him or something. So, yeah. So most likely we're gonna see like this thing kind of snowball. And I'm gonna guess that like. So I think that's why I think Ferrix is last. I could be wrong, but I think we're gonna go. Prison. We go to the prison to figure out what this piece of information is. That information takes you to Scarif. That's not Imperial occupied entirely. There's still people living there and stuff.
Yeah.
Remember, like I had both Bespin and I had photos of like beach towns that look very much like Scarif.
Yeah, I think we're going to Scarif for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think once they go there, I think they make a cell, also maybe recruit or something. And then I think they go back to Ferrix and liberate Ferrix. And that's what I think is like the gist of the season's like arc.
Well, I think they're going to go back to the planet Rogue One where Sharut was from.
Jeddah?
Jeddah. Yeah, mm-hmm. I think Jeddah is in it for sure. That's going to, because we saw some folks wearing those.
Because we saw. Oh, okay.
Well, and Saw Gerrera. Yeah, and we saw people in those robes. So I think that's where the Guardians of the Wills reside, like that whole church or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see them in some sort of mix up and Saul Guerrero gets brought into the episode there. So I think Jeddah is going to happen as well. But yeah. Yeah. Matt Risman's not wrong though. You can't tell Bale anything. Like, if you got a plan, you got a secret plan, don't give it to Bale. Right?
No.
He records it, puts it in a droid, and sends it to send a secret
Obi-Wan, I know you're hiding on Tatooine. That you're alive, and that my daughter, who's Anakin's daughter, is being kidnapped by Inquisitors who were hot on her trail on the very planet that you are on right now. Yeah, he's completely
and be sure that you protect Luke, Anakin's son, because it's your job to watch over him, and he's staying at his aunt and uncle's house. You know his aunt and uncle. Yeah, make sure you're watching them too. Wink.
Nicky. Fail Organa, his password is password 123.
That's great.
He changed it. He changed it from Padme's kid's new dad. 123.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. There was something else that I was thinking. I can't. I lost it. I got distracted with the Bale fail.
Bale fail.
No, I got to wrap up. But tonight, tomorrow we're doing the livestock feed with Dad. I've got to leave extra early, so I'm going to schedule my live stream watch through at like 6 a.m. Eastern.
3 a.m. my time. I might be awake for that.
Pacific.
I might stop in and say, what's going on?
Right before you take your nap. Yeah, that'd be great.
My night nap.
And to go back to what they were saying before in the chat, look, I am not a fan of the 12 p.m. Or 12 a.m. Pacific release time. That's 3 a.m. Eastern at 8 a.m. In the UK. Works out fairly well for UK folks, but it's also a weekday, right? So, like, your workday presumably starts at 8 or 9 a.m. You're either commuting or you're at work when these episodes drop.
America first. That's what I say.
I'm trying to put it in UK terms. Like, think about it. If you're in the UK, you want to get maximum viewership. Why would you release it at that time when they're either commuting or at work? The whole East Coast is asleep, or would be, and Pacific Coast would be going to bed. So it's a weird. I don't like the release time, especially that it's a Wednesday.
It's a worldwide. Like they're like that would just across the board probably works for them for all
screws everybody equally.
Yeah, Australia gets it at like 8 o'clock or something. Australia's like cool. Steve Irwin, cool.
Right. I just don't. I don't understand the timing. It's just such a terrible time. So I'll be coming in at 6 a.m. Eastern. So that's very early for me. Don't expect many people to be with me. But if you're still up from watching it and watching, Jason, you do an after release reaction live stream, right?
Yeah, so we'll probably be live at like 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, around that, a little bit before maybe, but about that time, yeah. So if it's about 45 minutes, so like that's when I plan on going live. I'm gonna do a show today at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with old man Rob, and then tonight, and then about 12 hours later, another one.
You got to tell Rob about the Magic Tree Sap. He's gonna love that. Well, more so, he's going to love that the High Republic Phase 2 is a prequel to High Republic Phase 1, which is a prequel to the prequels, which is...
Prequel to the prequels.
It's all crazy. It's all crazy. Look, I've had fun hanging out. We do have a Mike Porter dad joke that's on point today. It's a really good one. It's perfect Star Wars version dad joke. Oh, and by the way, look, you guys have been seeing the Wall of Fame go by at the bottom. If you get more predictions correct than Santa, then you go on the episode Wall of Fame. So Matt Risman's been on the Wall of Fame this week because he is the only person who got more points, as many or more points as Santa this last week. But we do have a good number of people who are still on the season leaderboard, and those people have been going by too. So be sure to get your predictions in before the episode tonight. And if you beat me, your name can go on the Wall of Fame too. And you know one name you don't see on the Wall of Fame or on the leaderboard?
Who, me? Me?
Who, me?
Me?
Meg. You don't see Meg on there either.
No.
So, yeah. Most of the cool people aren't on it.
What is the number one job an Ewok gynecologist performs?
Oh, no.
A sap smear. Come on.
Hilarious.
That was for you, Mike.
That's hilarious. Okay, so the Mike Porter dad joke. Let's bring it up here. It says, what did the Empire spy say when he spotted the rebel, Guerrera? There he is. I saw him.
Oh, Mike Porter, you're back, bud. You're back. I thought you lost it, but you're back.
It's fantastic. I love it. I love it, Mike. Thank you for that.
Deceit. Good job,
Very good.
Mike.
Very good. All right. So you guys catch Making Star Wars show this afternoon over on the MakingStarWars.net YouTube machine. And be sure you follow Mike Porter on the Twitter. His link is also in the description here. And get your predictions in. I'm doing mine on the show today. Today, me and Rob are going to do it on the show. Baymax will be there at my show because I didn't block him because I'm not mad at him like you are. I don't know why you're mad. I'm not mad at him. So I'm going to hang out with Baymax today. It's going to be fun. That's good. All right. Well, we're all a hot mess here today. The Melon created 3. The intro didn't happen. We don't have an outro. All of that. I've just got to end the stream.
Here comes Santa Claus. There you go.
Nothing special today. So thanks again, Jason. I had a ton of fun today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always.
Later, hoes.
Bye bye.